Okay, it's a big day for the Antelope Valley. So let's give everyone a round of applause for being here. When we do these events, it's very difficult to recognize everybody of importance because you're all important to us, and that's the main thing. But we have a lot of Fair Board people here. We have a lot of people, so I'm just going to read it off. And Dan Jacobs, the fair manager. These are in no order. Johnny Z from the JPA. Jason Cottle, city manager of Lancaster. Rhonda Perez, city manager of Palmdale. Richard Loa, councilman, city of Palmdale. Austin Bishop, councilman, city of Palmdale. We call him Sheriff John in Lancaster, but it's John Lecreven, our captain. Raj Mali, City Council, Lancaster. Rod, where are you at? Rod, our new Chief of Police, City of Lancaster. If you don't know these two guys, you should get to know them in a good way. Tom Lackey, State Assembly. Rob Paris, Water Boards, JPA. Kathy McLaren on the boards, Water Board. I know Senator Wilkes' aide is here. Noon Gillette. Howard Harris. John Calandry, JPA. Mr. Dutton, I saw you in here, 50th. Lilia Galindo, 50th. Felipe, the new president. Let's give him a hand for being president. Jack Danielson, that's you. See, I knew I had it down. Chuck Boswicks from the supervisor's office. Michelle Flanagan, she's on a lot of different boards, on everything. Did I say Howard Harris yet? Yes. Okay, I'll say it again, Howard. Bob Frichet. Okay, if I missed you, I apologize. Oh. Hello. Debbie, how are you? Debbie, can you stand up and dance for us, and we'll give you some music? We'll make it up to you. I apologize. It's a big day. We have the Secretary, Karen Ross. A lot of times when we give speeches from Lancaster or when we give speeches from Palmdale, it's not about working together. Today is about working together. Today is about the entire community working together. Not only the City of Palmdale, City of Lancaster, the County of Los Angeles, but we have the state, we have the feds, we have everybody here working together. This is a project that this community needs. This is a project that is, I'll show you. We got the seed money from the state of California. I just want to point out that we had a meeting prior to this, and when she signed this used to be $25 million, but she's a shrewd negotiator and negotiated it down to $20 million. This is a true story. Okay, I'm going to call up Mr. Tom Lackey.
Well, thank you, everybody. Let me congratulate this community for such an exciting development that's going to take place here. This is a $90 million project, everyone. That's a heck of a lot of money. And the great thing about it is what Marvin said earlier is for real, because it's Lancaster and Palmdale uniting not only in talk, but in exercise of their funds. Millions of dollars coming from both cities, so let's acknowledge that. And I'd like to thank the California Department of Food and Agriculture Secretary Ross, and also Deputy Secretary for the Fairs, Michael Flores, and both cities for coming together for the benefit of regional support. We've experienced some pretty weird challenges here in this valley, and I'm sure that they're also in the future. And so now we're actually going to be able to adapt with this Regional Resiliency Center, because it's going to provide an evacuation site during disasters and emergency situations, an emergency operations center that has a production kitchen, and ensuring that we'll all have the necessary resources and facilities in case of a catastrophic or unpredictable event. Unfortunately, fires are very, very too familiar to all of us and are quite devastating, and so now we'll have a facility that will be able to accommodate the multiple challenges that people will face and the tragic circumstances that accompany such a challenge. So this is really a big deal. I look forward to the construction actually happening and seeing the future development of such an important project. Congratulations to all of you, because you're a part of this celebration, and it seems like in society we have more to be frustrated over than celebrate, so let's enjoy this celebration. Thank you very much, everybody.
Let's give Mr. Lackey another hand. Did a good job. I'm going to call up two representatives from the city of Palmdale. Hopefully only one of them will speak. Austin Bishop and Richard Loa.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who took part in this, and I will be the one that doesn't speak. So I'm going to hand it over to Councilman Richard Loa.
Well, I just want to say that we are united in regional cooperation, regional working together, stitching together our two cities, and along with it the county, I hope, to tear down that dogging curtain, classic, what do they call it, the cactus curtain on Avenue M. Let's get rid of that. Now, on a serious note, we live a couple of miles in Palmdale. We live a couple of miles away from the San Andreas Fault. We just read about and saw on the news the terrible earthquake that took place in Turkey. We are not that different from the fault lines that created that horrible disaster there. And right now, folks, we're not ready to meet a disaster like that. I hope we build this very quickly, because we need to have facilities that are going to bring in people that are displaced from their homes, the emergency workers that are going to turn out to help with the disaster. And there's more to it than that, because we're talking about it being a great cultural center, a great event center, a great place where the entire community of the Antelope Valley as one will enjoy this wonderful facility. As Assemblyman Lackey mentioned, it's not just the threat of an earthquake, but we have the fires that we have to deal with and other things like that. So this is going to be a step in the right direction at bringing us together and doing more. Now, the city of Palmdale is stepping up. Thank you through the assistance of our city manager and the council. Last year, we voted for a $2.5 million contribution to the Antelope Valley Fair. That check has already been delivered. But as partners, we want to step up even more. We are committing to $10 million over the next several years. I hope there's no letdown, but we're committed, and I believe we're going to be able to deliver. So we've given the first installment. We want to partner with City of Lancaster, with the Antelope Valley Fair, with the County of Los Angeles, with the rest of the entities that are part of this. And it's really significant. So very pleased to be here, and I don't know, where's Mr. Christ? He left. May I mention one little thing? Sure. I want to recognize, of course, we have Friends of the Fair. That is a very significant part of the Antelope Valley Fair. But there's another organization that is bringing in a large part of the community. And that is Amigos de la Feria, Friends of the Fair. And Amigos de la Feria is raising money to build a community center that will be for all of the community, but there will be an emphasis on welcoming that very large Hispanic community that is part of the Antelope Valley. And I'd like for y'all to recognize Mr. Candy Lopez, who is the president of Amigos de la Feria. And thank you, Marvin, for everything you do. Yes. It really is awesome. Thank you.
Now you know why their meetings go 3.5 hours. Throughout the whole thing, we've negotiated back and forth on what we could do, but what we could do for the entire valley and how we could do it. We had a gentleman come up, Michael Flores. Michael, can you raise your hand? He is the liaison he is the deputy secretary. He is the liaison, and he is the individual that came down to check out whether we were worthy or not. He saw that we put on one hell of a fair. We do a good job, and it's about the community. It's about what we are and what we stand for. And that's what is the beauty of this. I was born in Palmdale, 1955. So that's 68 years old. But the beauty of it is, I'm not for Palmdale. I'm not for Lancaster. It's always been the Antelope Valley to me. And that's the beauty of this, and bringing in all the different partnerships. This is the first time that we've all came together on our own. Not something that we had to do. COVID, we had to do. But the lady that gave us the seed money, I already got her signature. Secretary Karen Ross. Give her a big hand.
You know, I'm just a farm girl, and I was not lucky enough to be born in California. I was born in western Nebraska, but to be able to be a part of something so meaningful about community, there is nothing like place. Place is people, but place is special when people work together for the common good. And I just want to congratulate you all and say thank you for showing us the way, for being a shining example of what we hope will happen up and down the state. This is something, when I pitched this idea to the governor a couple years ago, we had one-time funding, and I said, we have fairgrounds, and fairgrounds are important in every community. But people think of fairgrounds as fairs. That's maybe a 10-day, 15-day activity, and we have seen too often how often our fairgrounds need to be utilized for the very emergency situations that you've heard about. But fairgrounds are a public asset that are important to our community because of all the other things that can happen on fairgrounds. And that's what we are dedicating these dollars to doing, is community resiliency centers that are flexible and adaptable. And you know who we're doing it for? See those students over there? That's an example of our future, and it's a wonderful example of our future. Coming together and being able to build something that will continue to bring people together. And I just want to call out and thank the members of the legislature. Assemblyman Lackey, I'm so glad that you're here. When we laid out this vision to the governor of this, if we invest in these fairgrounds for generations to come, but they need sanitation facilities. We want to have a commercial kitchen that could be used to bring new food products from local agriculture to the community. We want to have a gathering place that can do all kinds of events that will continue to make the place where those resiliency centers are a special place. Place that's about community, place that showcases what happens when people come together to work together, a place that celebrates legacy, and a place that celebrates and looks forward to the future. That's what you've all done here. I noticed that this is just the down payment. This is just the down payment. But what we have seen with those one-time dollars that came through the budget process with the support of the legislature and the leadership of the governor, we have seen those dollars be leveraged into federal dollars that can be drawn down. So I think that you're off to a really great start, but I think the most important thing that we should be celebrating here today is how this community came together with a vision. Take the time to look at what the drawings of these facilities are going to be. They're just going to be the facilities where it happens. It's the spirit of this community that we're here to celebrate and say, thank you. We know what makes California great happens in local communities like this. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate it. I want to acknowledge every person that contributed to this process, but I've heard a lot about Marv in particular. I'm sorry. Some of it may be true. I'm not sure. But I also want you to know that today Dan Jacobs is hosting friends of his and mine from the Santa Maria Fairgrounds because they wanted to see an example, and I think they've been equally inspired about this is what can happen. So thank you, Antelope Valley citizens. Thanks to the FFA students for being here and your ag teachers. And celebrate this, remember this, and soon, before we know it, we'll be cutting ribbons on real new facilities. Good. Thank you.
Karen, stay up here. Do you guys have some stuff for Karen? You didn't bring any? Oh, bad. Well, Karen, on behalf of the city of Lancaster, we're going to do this. We're going to open it up. I'm going to call Angie Hughes up. Angie? Felipe, can you come up? You're looking at the leadership of the Antelope Valley Fair, the 50th, the association. Rob, can you come up? And Rob is the president, or chairman? Chairman of the Friends of the Fair. And what that means is everyone's together. We're doing this together. So we're going to open it up for questions or comments to everybody. So be nice because the press is here. Yes? Well, they have bigger pockets. We just haven't told them.